audience. This is Focal Point, your news magazine program on Abia Facts newspaper. Today, on set with me is Professor Eleazer Ikonne. Professor Ikonne is the Vice Chancellor of Abia State University Uturu. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Prof, you've been Vice Chancellor of this university for some time now.
Yes.
And then I think you've grown with the university and your career progression has been with the university also.
Yes.
So, what will you record as what will you tell the people as your monumental achievements as the Vice Chancellor of this university?
Well, I assumed the office, as the 7th substantive Vice Chancellor, 1st December 2015. I came from the Abia State Polytechnic, Aba, where I went on a rescue mission. And from hindsight, since I've been here for almost 30 years, my academic career, and having served as a Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics before I went to Polytechnic. So, and I've gone through the ranks as a classroom lecturer, HOD, Dean, Director, Deputy Provost. So, and I've been actively involved in academic activities, in unionism. So I'm a familiar figure in the environment. So I had the opportunity of putting my mission statement in writing. So after assuming office on 1st December, 2 days after, I addressed the whole university community, where I shared a pamphlet I called my mandate. Our story must change, where I outlined my mission statement and objectives, what by God's grace I will want to achieve within the period God allows me to be the Vice Chancellor of this university. And by God's grace, we've been following religiously those things outlined there. And by God's grace, I would say we have almost accomplished most of them. One, it's based on the core mandate of what the university is supposed to be, teaching, research, and community service. In terms of teaching, because as an academic, I'm not sure whether it's modest enough for me to say it's an achievement, but because there is a continuity of administration at the university. As you may know, I inherited a very disciplined administration from my predecessor, Professor Chibuzo who really taught me in administrative nuances in the university. So we took it off from where we stopped at that time because I was part of the administration. And they strengthened most other areas. For example, if you talk about teaching, we had in mind that lecturers should teach their courses as at when required. At the end of the semester, it should be seen that the course content is covered. And it's not just teaching, you should be able to examine very well. Not just examining, you should be able to submit your result on time. We started that from that administration and we strengthened it this time. There's a committee, a Senate committee on a task force to ensure that the Senate said 4 weeks after examination that all results of final year students must be submitted. 6 weeks after that, all other levels must be submitted. We have followed that religiously so that you don't have a case of a student when you are going to the next semester, you have not seen the last results, or you are in 200 level, you have not seen the result of 100 level. That one has been abolished. Secondly, most times we have cases of missing the scripts, missing results. It's no more there because we have online registration of courses. At the beginning of every semester, every student is supposed to register their courses online. As lecturers submit their results, it's uploaded online. And then, yes, a portal. And the parents, even guardians, if their wards or children give them the PIN code, they can, at the comfort of their homes, access our portal and know the academic history of their children or their work. We've been able to strengthen that. So the case of missing result does not exist in this place again, except a student that is not serious. In terms of You may know that if we finish final year exam by August, by November, we mobilize students for NYSC, which was something that you never heard of before, because the results are there. This case of before this time, you see students making budget, parents making budget that we are going for reconciliation of results. There is no such thing again that you pay money. Reconciliation of results is just to make sure that result you have in the department is the same as what you have in the. That's all. So it doesn't need to cost money. When you are talking of clearance, clearance is not supposed to cost you money. Except, what do you mean by clearance? Go to your head of department. Are you owing anything? Is there any book you borrowed? Or go to the library. Is there any book you borrowed that you didn't return and all that? Do you have any commitment? Go to security. Do you have any security matter that you have not? Those things are not supposed to cost a student money. But in the past, students can go to their parents and say, I'm doing clearance, give me 250,000 there and all that. That's what we mean by our story must change. When they collect all this money, parents will start shouting that Absu is very expensive. Absu is very expensive. But a cursory look at what we pay, you will see that Abia State University is one of the cheapest universities around. One, you can't compare it to federal university, because even in federal universities, federal government said this is the amount you pay. But there are other fees they collect, which if you add up may even be more than what we pay here. The highest fee a student pays in this place is categorized. Professional courses like medicine, law, architecture, all the medical sciences, they pay 112,000 naira per academic session.
Okay.
And because we are a community here, we make it easy for parents to pay. We say pay it instrumentally. First semester pay 56,000. That's all. That's what keeps you in school. The next semester you pay another 56,000. So that a student that is consistent, that is passing exam, you can become a medical doctor. You won't pay up to 800,000. You have graduated. That's it. Every other is graduated down. I'm telling you the highest. The lower ones will be some 90. The lowest is 80,000. So that every semester you pay only 40,000 naira. Can you compare it to what people pay in secondary schools and private schools these days? So that's what we said our story must change. We insist that you only pay the legitimate fees. Once you pay the legitimate fees, you are a bona fide student and you graduate as when due. Now the other sore area was the case of handouts, printed materials. Immediately we came in, we abolished handouts. Nobody, since 2015, nobody sells handouts again. We set up a book committee, what we call, handled by the university librarian. What if you have any printed material you want to give to students? You submit it to that committee. The committee will go through it, because there must be a expert. Every department is represented there, who will look at the content of the material, look at the course content, whether it really addresses it, whether it will be useful to students. They will assess the cost of printing it and now put a cost to it. And the lecturer does not market it. It's, if you go to a bookstore now, you see the books there. The students go there to buy it. At the end of the day, we transfer their monies into their account. So we've been able to put some discipline in that place, and no more extortion through printed materials. And of course, the case of harassment of any type, there's no tertiary institution you go in this country, you don't hear cases of sexual harassment.
That's what I was even coming to now, because the area of discipline amongst the lecturers and even the students themselves.
See, if you want to go to that one, you were asking my achievements. I don't know where to start, because the whole thing is all over the place. I started from teaching, the one that affects the student. And look, I made myself accessible to students. What the students call me is a senior course rep, because sometimes I take a walk, I go to the classroom to find out whether they are there. I gave the students a dedicated phone number. Send me SMS, whatever you have any problem that immediate boss cannot take care of. and that has paid off. So the students feel secure, whatever they are. They have access to me at any time, and the people who are working with me know that I have this disposition towards a student. That a student came to study doesn't mean he has to suffer. Doesn't. So we make it they can relate freely with lecturers without molestation.
Has there been recorded incidents of either extortion or sexual harassment by any of the lecturers that came to your notice and you treated it?
Of course, now there have been attempts. One time I was in Abuja, I was in a conference. I got a text from that phone number that somebody was collecting in a lab, in one of the laboratories, was collecting 5,000 from students immediately. I called the then DVC Academy, said, go to that place now and find out. And lo and behold, he went there and saw money exchanging hand, and he collected all the money and gave back to the students. There have been so many of such cases.
What did you met on the?
We have our regulations now. Follow the normal regulations.
That's the other one that has been, that is fact a very big issue in universities and polytechnics, in the higher institutions. That's sexual harassment of female students. I think it's been a very big issue in university. Are there any recorded students?
All reported cases have been properly treated. In fact, some lecturers have lost their appointments here based on that. And if you go to our university portal, Senate has a position on sexual harassment. We are one of the few universities in this country that have a position published. What constitutes sexual harassment? How should it be reported? How should it be treated? We constituted a panel headed by the Dean of Faculty of Law, and they stated the university position. It was debated robustly in the Senate, and we agreed, and it's published in our portal. So there is a standing principle of the university on sexual harassment. So any student who reports, it follows that disciplinary measure. Some lecturers have lost their jobs here based on such things. But it's not very rampant here. I'm not dependent, yes. And it's not very rampant, but all reported cases have been treated.
No, talking about also in security, the area of cultism. Cultism has been one serious security problem that Nigeria has been facing.
Yes.
These days, it transcends from university now to even mechanics, and secondary schools.
Yes.
Now everybody is now involved in one occult group or the other.
Yes.
So
I received my baptism of fire on the assumption of office. I assumed in December. By March, there was a Holocaust here, based on built-up relationship between inter-cult groups. So there was a reprisal attack. 2 of our students were beheaded. You remember? It went viral, and so that was a clearance call for us to sit up. That's why Anna went, and the government came, DSS all over the nation. They came close to the motor park that was there, where they were using as a den of this thing. Arrests were made, and we brought military checkpoint. We brought military checkpoint. You must have passed the military there, right? Senate set up a standing committee on security, a standing committee, so that if there is a reported case of any act of cultism today, you appear, the committee convenes immediately and takes a disposal action. And that committee is made up of the DPO, the military, the DVC admin is the chairperson, as a reverend father there. The hostel owners association, they have a chairman. The DSS is there. So such matters are no more delayed. Students are aware of that. Those who need to be dismissed are dismissed. Those who need to be rusticated are rusticated. So our security is alert on issues of cultism. So after that Holocaust, it's been reduced to the barest minimum cult activities. And because our quadrangle, this running around, we noticed that it's dark from 7 p.m. So we put in a solar, about 40 solar this thing round. So the place is lit up. It's lit up. So cases of court activities like snatching of phones and all likewise is now very much reduced. But the important thing is that Senate committee is everyday cases are reported, and the security is at alert. And you know that those people who did that thing were arrested from Michael Obran. That's where they planned the thing and all that. So by grace of God, I can tell you that court activities have been reduced to the barest minimum here. There's no institution in the country now where you will say you've completely eliminated it. So we are not lowering our gas, because if you do, the students, they are sharp. So by God's grace, we've been able to keep it down. That's in case of teaching. In terms of productivity in research, as I came on board, I related to the TED Fund, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, and we were able to secure 38 research topics at the same time, sponsored by TED Fund to the tune of 2 million naira per topic, institution-based research. So this place became a big hive of research activities, that almost every department, professors were heading research activities. Other Vice Chancellors were asking me, how were you able to do this? Because it's unprecedented. There is no other university that has gotten that type of research proposal approved by TED Fund and funded at the same time. And since that time, we've secured another 43 topics now, which is current, funded by the same TED Fund. So you see research activities, and our lecturer staff are publishing in there's something they call Q1, Q2, Q3 journals. It's a global rating of journals, academic journals, that if you only the erudite scholars publish in those journals, and that is what they use to rank universities. If your staff are able to publish in those globally ranked journals, so we are saying that these products of this research should be published in those research, and that helps to rank universities. Because if scholars from other are citing articles done by your staff, yes, that gives you a web image, because that's what we call webometric ranking of universities. How robust you are in the web, global distance. We have through service provider, we have a very robust website created, and you can reach our portal anywhere in this country. People pay their fees even from Lagos. That's how active the place is, and that has resulted in the webometric ranking of the universities, which was at 93rd when I came in. At one time it was 30th. Web presence. That's different from a NUC ranking. This webometric, how active are you in the internet, and for positive things. So for academic things. And would you know that a university in Mexico, University of Mexico, wrote to us for collaboration. Why? Because they said in the net that they saw a researcher, our staff, a research he did, and they were able to do collaborative research with him on the internet. And that the input he made there was so significant. They said, any university that has this quality of staff, that they want to relate to them. So we have collaboration on the internet with the University of Mexico. We have given this university international exposure. And on our own, we have collaboration with State University of New York in vision science. Some of our students have gone there to do 1 year, 6 months, or 3 months clinic observation in the Department of Optometry. We are building up another, this in medical science in University of Toledo. The provost and the Professor Adisan, they had to visit that place. We are working up a collaboration. We are yet to sign the MOU. These are international exposures given to the institution, and that's what gives. That's what a university is universal.
Yes,
it's not a local issue. As at now, Abia State University is on the international podium, being cited by scholars in other institutions. Our conferences, our lecturers go to international conferences sponsored by TED Fund, and one of the visible signs you will see is that professors are required to deliver inaugural lectures. Yes, once you are pronounced a professor, you need to tell the world. Choose one day where you tell them what made you a professor. And each university has series. It's the 10th inaugural lecture, 15th, you may, if you ask other universities. When I took over in 1st December, we were at the 19th series of inaugural lecture, and I thought that was low for a university that was about 36 years old, with great scholars as professors. So what we did as management, we cajoled our colleagues, professorship, and gave some incentive, and they saw the need for them to. Today, by next week, we will be doing the 49th. 49th. So between that 2016 and today, you will see from 19th, we've done 49. Yes. If the staff, professors do not believe in your administration, some of them may deliberately say, no, I won't do my inaugural during that. There are many reasons why professors refuse to do inaugural lecture. One, they are not sufficiently challenged. Two, they don't believe the academic content of your administration.
Okay.
But because, by God's grace, I'm carrying everybody along. They believe in what we are doing. So everybody wants to be identified with what we are doing. That even this month, Senate said, third Wednesday of every month, we set it aside for inaugural lecture. It may sound simple because I'm the one saying it, but go to other universities. It's not as simple as that. The thing has become so beautiful, so celebration of academic celebration, that even this August we are going to have to do in 1 month to show the enthusiasm. My colleagues have to now deliver their inaugural lecture. It's a visible symbol of acceptance of this administration with management, that we are really pursuing academicism, for which the university is known. Now, when it comes to infrastructural development, like I told you, I inherited a very disciplined administration. So many schools have been blacklisted by Tertiary Education Trust Fund, because both federal universities and state universities, capital development in this country now in the university is sponsored by TED Fund.
Yes.
That's it. So, but some schools have been blacklisted because of poor utilization of their fund. Because if TED Fund gives you fund, they follow you up. There are regulations for you to use it. If you don't use it well, they blacklist you. If you don't finish this one, you can't take the next one. But we have made ourselves very visible in TED Fund, that we are getting the normal interventions and getting the special intervention. If you take a walk, maybe you go to our laboratories, you see how equipped the laboratories. There are structures going on. You may have learned that in 2008, the State Assembly gave a law. The government said now, instead of a mono campus, it should be a multi-campus spread across the 3 senatorial zones. So, Faculty of Law had to join Faculty of Agriculture in Umudike. If you go there, some structures are going on in that place. If you go to Aba, the teaching hospital, where the teaching structures are going on there. Then the new site where they have, say, engineering, because my administration introduced Faculty of Engineering. So since inception of this university, we didn't have Faculty of engineering. In fact, one past Vice Chancellor, Professor Omfad, declared in Senate one day that, hey, commending the administration, that he tried to start Faculty of Engineering doing that, but he was not able. Commended the administration for being able to start Faculty of Engineering. Temporarily they are here, but the permanent structure is going on at Osisioma, where the government. Yes, okay. Where the government said
the law is in
Umudike, yes, and Faculty of Agriculture going on there. Now we have been able to expand our academic base, introducing new courses. You know, we were under pressure in medicine. Almost every family, every parent wants his child to read other medicine or law. So, but you know, Medical and Dental Council, they will give you a quota based on the facilities you have. They say don't admit more than this thing. The governor has been very generous to us that when Medical and Dental Council came for accreditation, we received generous support from the governor. Because if you go to the teaching hospital, we had new structures there, pathology lab and all that. When they saw the lab, they didn't just give us full accreditation. They increased our quota, which for over 20 years has been 75. They increased it to 120. 120 that we can now graduate 120 medical students at a time, which is much higher than most federal universities. Uniport is 100. It's only in Soka and Hamad Bello that is, I think, 140 or 150. That is a tremendous leap from 75 to 120. So what we did was to expand the academic base, introduce other undergraduate pre-med courses. We didn't have an undergraduate program in anatomy. We have introduced anatomy and physiology. We introduced public health. You know, we got accreditation for nursing. Nursing was there before I came, but we didn't have accreditation. Med lab was there before I came, but we didn't have a med lab. We got accreditation, so we graduated about 3 sets of med lab, the same as nursing science. So we have expanded our academic base based on courses that are trending, courses that can put food on the table. When people they can create jobs, they can. That is our pursuit. It's not just you have a paper, you can't get a job. So if you go to faculty engineering, we have about 5 departments: computer engineering, electrical, electronics. Recently now we are bringing in a new has approved civil engineering for us. Mechanical engineering is there. All this came within this the last span of this administration. And the Senate last month, 2 months ago, approved that we should start Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences. You know, when we say we introduce new program, it is a Herculean task. You don't just one day wake up and say you have introduced a new program. You have to write a proposal to a NUC. A NUC has to come for resource verification to see what you have on ground, the staff you have on ground, and give approval. The professional body has to also come and give approval. So we have gone through all that, and by God's grace, by this admission period, we are going to start a pharmacy in Abia State University. So that if you can't read medicine,
you are going to start the institution. Are going to start pharmacy in Abia State University.
Yes.
Absu now.
Not Absu.
Okay, Abia State University.
Yes, it's a faculty of
physics.
Yeah, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Okay. You know, so that if you can't read medicine, you can't read anatomy. If you can't read physiology, you can't read public health, you can't read pharmacy. These are all professional courses, which were not there before this time. So these are the areas, the core areas of what university is supposed to be, which we have done. And if you come to administration, you see, for the first time, the Vice Chancellor has town hall meetings with her staff, both academic staff and non-teaching staff. We gather in the auditorium. Ask me any question you want to, and say anything you want. Put up any suggestion you want to put up. So almost the entire university community is involved in the administration of of the university as at now. Even students, I've had a series of town hall meetings with students. I gather them in the auditorium. Tell me anything you want to tell me. Call me any name you want to. Let us speak to each other. Yeah.
That's a very interesting one.
So these are novelties. These are novelties. They don't come anyhow. They come with courage. They come with transparency. If you are not transparent, you can't stand before. And the most encouraging factor is that our governor, has a PhD in clinical biochemistry. Was a lecturer before. He applied to us when he saw what we are doing here. Applied to us that we should give him courses in his discipline.
To undertake.
Yes, he's even a member of a research team. Okay. One of these researches I'm talking about. He's a member of they are published in the international journals. Yes. So because a governor, you can stand before students. You know how students, you were a student, that level of freedom, you can tell your teacher anywhere. And that is the governor standing before you. Maybe your parents are in the opposition party. Yeah. You can use that opportunity to tell him that he's not fit to be a governor. So it's not easy for a governor to stand before students and say you are teaching them, knowing that they can tell you anything. And since we all the convocations we have come, governor has been there. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., he's always there. He has attended, he has built students' secretariat, which he commissioned. He laid foundation for Absu secretariat, which is ongoing. He laid a foundation for guest house at the secretariat, which is ongoing. Do you know what? The corollary of all these things we are doing is that every stakeholder, I'm sure you're a stakeholder. If you are not an alumnus, I don't know where you went to. And you have
what if I went to you?
I don't know. It's not Absu. It's not Absu. Do you know in the employability of graduates? Do you know Absu? Out of the first 20, Absu is rated 17th.
I know Absu.
But UNN is not in the first 20. So not comparison. I'm just talking about Absu. Alumni all over the world say they heard what we are doing. For example, the registrar, by the way, that's the first female registrar we are having in this university. Okay. I don't know how many universities.
Is this as a function of a female?
This is the first registrar that has a PhD. Okay. Go around all the universities, including in Sudan. But what I'm telling you is that it has. If you go to the level of operation, there we release online transcript. Before this time, alumni in Europe or any part of the world, they can apply here for transcript. For example, you're applying for a job, you're applying for admission, they need your transcript, or they need to get a document from the 6 months, 1 year. They have not had, they lose their transcript. But now we have hardware, software, you pay online, within 24 hours you apply. We send you a transcript online. If I don't have knowledgeable registrar that's organized the place, I can't work alone. Go to our e-library. If you go there, our e-library, they have come for accreditation here. Even lecturers from federal universities, they shout, how did we get these facilities working in this place? So that students can go to any journal, any book, anywhere, online, they can get it in our e-library. Because I have knowledgeable librarian, a professor. It's not how many universities have a professor as a librarian. Abia State University. Because I'm not just talking about the Vice Chancellor, talking about the quality of management we have. This the bossa is a fellow of ICANN. You see, when one of the sore areas the university has administration is leakages. If the bursary is not professional in what he is doing, the not just the university, the management has a problem. For you to be able to combine professionalism in the bursary and relate to human beings, because anybody handling money most times is an enemy to the public, because they say he doesn't give out money. But I have a bursar that combines high level of professionalism and human relations. I'm giving you tips where I'm verifying what I'm talking about as you go.
Prof,
go and ask them.
This caliber of staff you have here now,
Mm-hmm.
which I think you hold in the very highest esteem, did you inherit them or you groomed them to?
No, I inherited them. But when the head is not functional, the others cannot function.
Yes.
I inherited them, and I knew the level of their performance before I came on board. But with me as the head, they have upped their game.
Yeah.
They have upped their game because you can't give what you don't have. The inherent qualities was already in them. Then the leadership.
Now polished it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Prof, there's one area we don't know which I think is important we touch it. That's on admission fraud. Now, that's one challenge most people have been having. Most students. You know,
Yes.
I read one very touchy article online. A boy graduated, he completed 4 years in the university, only to find out that he didn't have a good admission.
Original
admission.
yes. Yeah.
So how are you able
This is a factor that is common in all Nigerian universities. There are fraudsters all over the place. You saw what JAMB registrar was shouting over. I had to. He invited me and the Vice Chancellor University of Sokoto to appear in Good Morning Nigeria to talk about exam malpractice in JAMB because he saw what we did in Abia here.
Okay.
There are fraudsters all over the place, you know. But the problem is parents are overzealous about admission. If we keep making an announcement, don't pay money to anybody. You know what is happening in social media. People can clone anything. They have cloned my messenger in so many places and put an account, put my photograph and say, pay into this and that is an agent to the Vice Chancellor. We keep denying. They will tell them, do you expect the Vice Chancellor to agree that he's not collecting this? So it's a hydra-headed problem. We are dealing with the candidates. We are dealing with the parents. Parents can go to any length to get their children awards to read a particular course. The children may not even have interest in those courses. He must be a doctor. He must be a lawyer, and all that. Meanwhile, the child wants to be an artist.
This thing is not even qualified. It's not qualified to do that.
That's the point. So that makes them vulnerable to these fraudsters. We have done the much we can. When you do online, it's easy to checkmate others. Do you know sometimes we paste admission at the notice board? Yeah? You come in the morning, another list has been pasted, added there. So these people who live around the place, they will tell the person I've published your name. Maybe they would have collected 300 and 400,000 naira and said they gave to the Vice Chancellor, which is not true. It's unfortunate. I read that article for 4 years. Okay, these days it's not possible now because of online,
okay.
Right?
Yes.
One, you get your matriculation online.
Yes.
Online matriculation number. It's not an individual that issues it now. Once you do this. Your matriculation number, all they want to do is to go and verify. If you pay fees, there you generate receipt. The receipt you go to those bosses.
Yes.
These things they use in ShopRite to check barcode. That's what we use, you know.
Okay.
But in spite of that, you know, as technology is increasing, fraudsters also. Like for example, there's something that is on air now. There's something, my receptionist in my clinic 2 days ago told me that she asking me for money that she wants to go and pay to check her result. I said, which result? It's supposed to say, who asked you to pay money? He said it's online. That is she went and brought her phone. Somebody cloned our this thing and said they should 3,100. We have not even released the result. Somebody came to my office this one and said he was in a car. I don't know which radio station that was shouting at Abia State University community that they are collecting 4,000 for them to check result. Our result has not been released. Has not been released. That is that we make wrong use of technology. Yes. And some people have even fallen victim to that. They are paying. I don't know whose account is going to. So that is the problem. So we have tried everything with e-administration, digitalization of all what we do to control fraud in admission. But the problem is the society. The society does not believe us that we are doing the right thing. They rather believe the fraudsters. Parents are desperate to say they are helping their children. Some parents can't even control their children. They want them to just go out. Do you want money to who is giving you? Go. Did you hear that even in exam, somebody drove the son to go and take a jam? Yeah. The man left. The boy walked away. Didn't enter the jam. He now threatened, went to jam registrar. When they published the result, they said the boy was absent. The man, a highly placed man though, he went and threatened the jam registrar that he was taking them to court, that this. He didn't know there was a CCTV. Yes. They investigated and found out that as the man was dropping the boy walked away. They invited the boy. The boy said the mother told him not to enter the hall, that he have hired somebody who will write exam for. That's what is happening. I've been announcing that we don't collect money. Admission is free. Parents don't believe us. They would rather believe somebody who will say, how can the Vice Chancellor give you medicine free? How can they give you law free? That is the problem. The society is so corrupt that they don't think anything can be done right. That's the problem.
It's a problem. We've dealt on a lot of issues, but we need to talk about salaries. Because in this state, the salary payment is a very big issue.
Yes.
And in that regards, your institution, the institution under you has done very, very well. You have been a reference point to, I think, other MDS agencies and parastatals in the operating within the state. How were you able to achieve that?
Well, firstly, we thank you for the compliments, and I hope you mean it, because some people just come here and say it and go out and.
I'll be publishing it.
So, one. What government does is so solvent.
Yes.
Government solvents. It doesn't give you the whole thing. So they don't ask us about the fees we collect. Okay. So we now have the responsibility of making sure we collect our fees. And the fees you collect enter into the official accounts. There have been leakages due to fraud in this place. That's why I was talking about professionalism. And the technology that you collect what you and enters the proper place. So as at now, I can boast that we collect up to 80% of what fees, because students don't like paying fees. Their parents will give them money, they will use it to do Niger bet and do other things and go and furnish lodges, and they live in luxury. And they believe that there are people who will give them a clearance at the end of this thing. One, we have stopped those fraudulent. Many people have lost their jobs here who refuse to change. Okay. So it's not easy for a student to go and forge receipt now, forge clearance and all that. So more people are, and the students now believe that the administration is looking after them well. Okay. We are looking after them well because we have cut down areas of extortion. So our students now have a sense of responsibility. So they are paying their fees. There is no way you can run a university with fees paid. Unless you are charging like Ibn, or if you are reading medicine, pay 4 million naira. That is what is supposed to be, not 112,000 naira. When you are supposed to, in medicine alone, you have 12 departments. And each department will have about 6 or 7 consultants, professors. And you know what their salary is. And the student is just paying 112,000 naira. It costs nothing. It doesn't do. It can't.
That's why I'm asking. How are you going to manage to
prudent financial management? That's all. Prudence. There's no other way. And sacrifices. Look at management now. Most of them, I don't have a home. I drive all the way from Umaya. I don't have a backup vehicle. Only one vehicle have I bought since I came here. And we have Vice Chancellor's quarters here. I don't have money to furnish it. So I can't live there. Every day I flog my vehicle along this bad road to come here. So all these people, they don't have backup vehicles. We make sacrifices and prioritize staff welfare. That's what we. There's no other magic. We make a lot of sacrifices because if I'm to achieve my mandate of story must change, I must keep a regular and academic standard, and that is what has happened for 3 years now. We've not had a local strike. But sometimes, even in your home, you can get broke. You can get broke. We have our dry days. Our dry periods are when the students are away. We're about starting a new one. Like now, it's our dry period. We don't have resources. We manage to cope within that period until when they come again, we manage. That's why we are coping now. We are about a month or 2 months down, but we are making efforts here and there. That is our dry period. But to tell you that, one, we have prudent and transparent financial management, which the deputy governor, the other day he came here, he eulogized this place because he did his PhD here, yes, and he was able to do it within a specified time. He said he was able to do that because we have a steady academic calendar, and he doesn't know how we manage that. Even with minimal financial support from government, we're able to stand. It's the management that is making a sacrifice. That's what has happened, because we are determined to serve Abians. This is their university. Those who founded the university, they had a dream, and I want to tell you, within this period, without being modest, that this is the period that this university has served the dream of the founding fathers of this place. The Senate described this period as golden era of Abia State University.
And I also want to believe that we were able to achieve all these things because we are a pioneer member of this.
Yes, and
at part of those
and at this time, I have a governor who is an academic. Okay. He understands the language of the university. We have a pro-chancellor, a chancellor, who Professor Ayese, a renowned academic in biochemistry, who was the Vice Chancellor of 2 different universities. He has brought his, the man, the first day he was installed, he's the paramount ruler of the thief nation. He came here and instituted the awards worth 1.5 billion naira, which he gave immediately in perpetuity. One is for the best graduating student in biochemistry. The second is the best behaved student. You can't hear that in any university. This is the first time somebody is given an award to the best behavior, because in certificate we say found you worthy in learning and character. Most times we say the best graduating student CGPA 4.8, 5.6. Nobody says you behaved well. Yes. So he instituted that prize and challenged the Senate to develop a pro forma for dictating who is best student, and that's what we have done.
Yeah. Prof, it's been a very interesting moment with Prof. Ikonne.
I hope so.
I know that we can't have enough of him. So I think